Hi, thanks for visiting XtremeGuard.com. Today I've got the Google Nexus 5. I want to talk about some of the specs of this phone, show you some of what KitKat can do, and then also show you the screen protector and the full body protector that I've applied to this device. So to kick things off, let's talk about the pricing of this device. At $349 you can pick up the 16 gig model, or at $399 you can get the 32 gig model. Now when I talk about the processor, the RAM, or the camera, yes, there are some phones that will slightly be better than the Nexus 4 or the Nexus 5 in some areas, but remember that price point, that unlocked price point of $349 and $399 is literally unbeatable by any of these other top of the line phones like the Galaxy S4, the Galaxy Note 3, the iPhone 5S. Any of those, when you buy them unlocked, are going to be much more expensive than that $349 and $399 price point. So the screen of this device is very impressive. It's a 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution, 445 pixels per inch, which is incredible. Makes this display very crisp across the 4.995 inch display, or the 5-inch display, however you want to say it. On the back you get an 8 megapixel back camera. Now this camera is not, it's the exact same megapixels as what we saw with the Nexus 4, but you do get OIS, which is optical image stabilization, which is going to help make some of those shaky hand photos. You can see I've kind of got shaky hands. It's going to help some of those shaky hand photos be a little bit more crisp, get rid of some of that blur when you're taking pictures. So that's a very nice improvement on the camera. You've got a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera, which is nothing to write home about. You can get the Nexus 5 in either black like this model or in white, and the white version has a black front and then the white back. Some people are calling that the panda color. The processor of this device, you've got the 2.26 gigahertz Snapdragon 800 processor, which is right now a very top of the line processor that will compete with any other device out there. You've got 450 megahertz Adreno 330 GPU in the device, which is very respectable. This model finally features LTE, which is something that was missing in the Nexus 4 version, and I think some people were pretty upset about not having the LTE option available. So that's a brief overview of the specs of the Nexus 5. Very impressive as far as the hardware goes. As far as the design of the Nexus 5, I personally am partial to the design of the Nexus 4, with the beveled glass on the front, the chrome bezel around the glass, and then also the glass on the back. For me, that's a more sleek look, and I prefer the look of the Nexus 4, but I much prefer the screen resolution, the size of the display, and the overall internal performance of the Nexus 5. Oh, and you do get 2 gigs of RAM. I failed to mention that earlier, but I much prefer the specs, this updated Nexus 5, as opposed to the Nexus 4. Notwithstanding, the Nexus 4 is still a great device. Now, looking at some of the features of KitKat, one very nice feature is the caller ID is actually a little bit different now. If someone calls you and for some reason they are not in your contacts list, Google will actually search for that phone number and it will try to match up a person's name. So let's say a telemarketer from Comcast or from Xfinity is calling you and you don't recognize the number. Google will actually search on the web for that number and will try and match the name of the person who's trying to call you. So hopefully it would actually show on your phone that Xfinity is calling you, instead of just seeing a strange number that you don't recognize. So that's a very cool little feature. Also, they've integrated printing. Let me show you that right here. If I just barely went into the settings, and you can see printing here. So if you have Cloud Print or the HP Print Service plugin, you can actually print straight from your device, and that's just integrated, comes out of the box with KitKat 4.4. One of my favorite features is being able to move entire home screens. By tapping and holding the home screen, you can see that this new display shows up. You can choose wallpapers. This is how you access your widgets. You can also get to your settings, but then you can drag and drop entire home screens, which that is a nice little feature. Lets you organize your phone maybe how you want it, instead of having to drag every single widget over to where you want it. You've also got an update with Google Voice Search. They've tried to make a more seamless integration with Google Voice Search. One little feature of that is that you can actually say, "Okay, Google, where's the nearest McDonald's?" And that will actually run your search for you. It'll bring up the address. You can view it on your map. You can navigate to it. You can use that feature however you'd like to. And the phone is constantly listening for your voice to say, "Okay, Google," as long as the phone is unlocked. However, if your phone is locked and you say, "Okay, Google," it's not going to pop up. Same with it if you're at the lock screen. It's not going to pop up if you say, "Okay, Google." This feature is kind of nice. It's similar to the HTC One and some other devices that have voice activation features, but it's not quite up to the same par as some of these other devices that will actually be listening when the device is locked or the screen is completely off. But still, we're moving in the right direction there. One other feature with Android 4.4 or KitKat is that your text messaging is now mixed with your Google Hangouts, which some people might like that feature. I personally don't use Hangouts very much, so that's going to be quickly replaced by a third-party app. I'm happy to give the new feature a try, but if it doesn't work out for me, I definitely will, like I just said, switch over to a third-party text messaging service. If I do decide to change, it's very easy to switch over to the different text messaging service. Simply open up your settings, go to More, click on Default SMS App. Right now you see Hangouts because it's the only installed app for text messaging. But that's how you would easily switch over to a new text messaging service if you felt like it was necessary. Finally, the last feature of Android 4.4 KitKat that I want to show you is being able to search directly from your phone dialer. So let's say I wanted to call Walmart for some reason. I could actually, instead of having to launch Chrome, search for Walmart that's nearest to me, find their number, and then click on the number for it to dial, I can just dial Walmart, or I can just type in Walmart, and you can see I just put in WAL. It already pulled up the closest Walmart. I can click on Walmart, and it will launch a phone call. I don't have a SIM card in the phone right now, so it won't work, but that would have called the Walmart nearest to me, which I think is an excellent feature of Android 4.4 KitKat. And I'm excited to use that in the future. I think it actually will save me some time. One quick side note is that the Google Nexus 5 will support USB OTG, which is USB on the go. That's something that was harder to get support for on the Nexus 4. With the Nexus 5, you will have to do some minor tweaking, but anyone who put some time into looking at some forums can figure out how to do that. You don't have to root the device, you don't have to put a different operating system, but you will have to tweak the device slightly to get USB OTG working on your Nexus 5. So overall, this is a very, very good device. I'm extremely happy with the pixels per inch. I'm happy with the size of the screen resolution. I'm happy with the storage. I don't think I need more storage, so expandable storage for me personally is not a big deal. If that's something that you need, you do have that USB OTG option. Overall, very good value for what you're going to pay. And now finally, I want to show you the screen protector and full body protector that I've applied to this Nexus 5. So looking at the front, you can see that you've got your proximity sensor and light sensor here on the right side. You've got your camera on the left, and then you've got your round speaker up at the top. Now this round speaker I actually like more than the Nexus 4 speaker. I think it provides a little bit louder sound while in call. So that's going to be something to look at. Besides those three cutouts on the screen protector, you don't have any more cutouts on the front. You've got some rounded edges, and that screen protector forms perfectly to the front of your device. I'll get some still shots of the camera, the speaker port, and the light sensor and proximity sensor for you. Now looking at the back, you've got this full body protector. This is going to help protect against scratches, dings, and dents on the back of your device. You see that we have a cutout for the camera and flash, and then other than that, it just goes around the edges of the device and looks great on here. Provides slightly some more grip to the phone, so hopefully it'll slide out of your hand, or the chances of it sliding out of your hand will be less. If you have any other questions about this screen protector or about this device, go ahead and contact customer service, and thanks for visiting XtremeGuard.com.